Hi, Gary. Apparently, you're a very special person to God because I have been informed to give you a lot more information than I have ever been able to share with anyone. I told you how, well, let me start with my job description, I guess. I'm kind of like a life raft for his VIPs. I get sent in I get sent in out of love. I get sent in as a life raft because he knows that they are under attack and they need my help. So if we look at how you originally came to know who I came in to show you that you had an infection within your own company with $0 attached to it, remember? Then God has me back out to let you hang yourself. Because like I told Chad in the video that is attached in this email, the brothers and the shit that I came to you originally for, those are not my problems anymore. My problem is how you treated the situation, your actions, your decisions, and who you protected. So pretty much when I say I come in as a life vest, I come in as a life vest to be your opportunity to have $0 attached to it if you have no ego attached to it and you're protecting the right people. If you're not protecting the right people, then mama turns into like mama bear and shifts into like God warrior mode and uses your own noose that you created by your actions and the evidence that we get by sitting back and watching how you play out and what decisions you make around it. That created the problem of where we are now. The 44 million is attached to your ego that is still protecting the wrong people. The people that are actually your infection within your own company. So let me tell you what I do know. When John Davis left, I know that you have been probably putting out fires ever since. Seeing people that you thought you could trust have shit come to the surface. Seeing things, that flowy, fun company that you probably were running started becoming really stressful. It's probably been draining you. Energetically, physically, mentally, exhausting. You don't know who you can trust. And every time you think you put it out and you're moving forward, something else comes up. Around the same time, God sent you a life vest. But the difference is I'm kind of like his hidden secret weapon because you're able to underestimate me. You're able to disregard. You're able to really show me the true colors of your actions. Because you had your own people willing to stand up, get persecuted, lose their jobs, get treated wrongly, all of that, to want to try and help you and show you that you have an infection within your own company that's eating you alive. God sent me in. I don't get sent in. You should be freaking grateful because I don't get sent in unless it's bad. I'm like the life vest secret weapon that can infiltrate what other people can't. Meaning, you can't see. Your heart is in a good place. Otherwise, I would not be here. Your intentions and your actions, though, are protecting the wrong people. And that's a problem. So the 44 million is only because you haven't been willing to admit you chose wrong, that you protected the wrong people. And like Chad was telling me, you're putting systems in place going forward, but that doesn't cut out the infection. Just like if you have a wound in your arm, putting a Band-Aid and Neosporin on it isn't going to fix it. You have to cut out the infection. If you don't cut out the infection, it just continues to grow. And what you probably haven't been aware of is COVID was literally the start of the 7-year tribulation, where that is why you have been putting out fires and all of that, because you are meant to be a beacon of light. And beacons of light right now are attracting the energy vampires, the parasites. Because if you understand quantum physics and quantum entanglement, you're entangled with parasitic people. And you weren't aware of it until the shift started happening. And now those people that you before didn't have to see their true colors, none of that had to come to the surface, you didn't feel the energy draining you, all of those things, you can't ignore it now. And it's become very loud and in your face. And I know that. Otherwise, I wouldn't be sent in. I'm only shown and guided to do certain things that I know are meant to trigger you to help you heal and see certain parts of yourself. Kind of like I'm God's puppet, you know, like the Avatar, I guess. But so the soft one at the beginning, because I'm all love. I want to help and heal and all of that. It's kind of like mom, a mommy. You know, a mommy is still going to hold you accountable. They're still going to ground you. They're still going to take your allowance away. But that doesn't mean they love you any less. I'm here to help you. You don't have the gift or the gifts to be able to see and sense your infections and your parasitic things that are eating you from the inside out. And I hope you don't end up like I did. I had to lose everything, almost die, because of the sickness and the parasitics around me taking me down, till I finally surrendered. And then here we are. Literally. Don't be like me. I was a stubborn pain in the ass to get to where I am now. But I had to lose everything. And I can tell you, it will kill you. It will kill your business. That's what it does. And we are in spiritual warfare right now. The energetic attacks and all of that within your foundation will eat you from the inside out. And I was sent in to offer my help and give you a life vest. But I am only allowed to help people that raise their hand, that admit there is a problem. Kind of like when you are repenting to God and asking for forgiveness, had to learn this the hard way as well, is you have to admit there's a problem, you need help, and you're willing to surrender. Put down your sword, put down your ego, and stop trying to protect the wrong people. Because right now you are. And I didn't understand, well, I get shown certain pieces, like I said, kind of like a puppet. So when I originally wrote that contract for the 44 million, I had 3 business days on there for the time period. He had me take that off because he wanted to see how you would react so that you could use that as a mirror for yourself. For me to now be sending you this on Sunday no less, to now say he's giving you those 3 business days, meaning you now have option A and option B to now have Monday as your option. Because when he is sending me in for something, he is preparing where the money he knows, because he knows that whatever it is, because I'm sending as an infection to funnel money out of bad systems, people that their ego's getting in the way, but they're also VIP people to him that have to be able to surrender to see that they might have been on the wrong path protecting the wrong people, because literally you're not protecting the women of Zion in the Bible. You know, the ones that he will send out with the fury for anyone who doesn't protect them. Kind of funny that I'm in Utah, Zion, protecting the women of Zion. But, like I said, the brothers are the least of my problems. The affair is the least of my problems. My problems are how you handled it. That's your evidence of who you're protecting. Your agents and peers came to you because they love you, because I loved you. I still do love you and know that I am here to help you, but I can't help you unless you allow it. And the numbers are only getting bigger because of your ego and not willing to admit that you keep putting out fires and you might have toxicity and infections within your own company that you didn't realize were there. And the video that I have with Chad, our call, it shows you very clearly. He kept asking me to go find more current evidence, all of that stuff, because he kept being told that everything else was handled and looked into. Which, Chad, between me and you, I need you to man up for Gary, because you're his protector. You are his detective. You are his, and that's against anyone else, even within his own company, meaning people that were shady and hid stuff, because you know if I'm getting a cease and assist to silence and evidence got back to people that were enabling the problem, it was handled incorrectly. We know that. So that means, Chad, when they say it was handled, great, you're a detective. You dig into, find the process they used, their notes, the investigation, who they did, look into every HR complaint that had come in over the Green brothers, look into how many times and where they came from. Like, we know Marcus came from Arizona. I know there was drama in Arizona that Scott Agnew knew when they moved him here. All of that stuff, when I started asking questions, and Chad, you started asking questions, you were getting stonewalled. Which, Gary, that is the culture you created because you allowed it before. Not knowing. You didn't know you were allowing it before, but now you do. And Chad, his hands are tied when you have corrupt people within your hierarchy that allowed stuff, that are now not even allowing your own attorney to protect you. Do you see that? Chad can't even protect you. And so, Chad, that's where I'm saying, for you to be the man that Gary needs you to be, you are a freaking detective. I don't care what they tell you. I don't care if they try and ooh and ah and this and that and belittle you because their egos and their fear of you finding out what's happened all in the past, that's what they're terrified of. So they're going to belittle you with their egos out of fear. of being found out. So you have probably been shut down from every person that you tried to dig into this with. That's why you started to go try and make change going forward. But again, you can't build on a broken foundation. You can't at all. So originally, I wasn't allowed to tell you like a lot of this shit. But apparently, after your window on Saturday passed and I was preparing for, not even preparing, it was already prepared. Just like he had me build the funnel, knowing where your money was going to go and how you were going to help the women of Zion that are part of the second coming and all of that, because you would be choosing to support the right thing and not protect the individuals that actually hurt people. He had me building out exactly your other, like, step 2 if you chose wrong, because he always has me do both. So business genius strategist here, I always get to use everyone's own tools against them, just like using your own reaction to the problem, which shows exactly the evidence of how it played out, who you were supporting, all of those things. Using your own action going forward and your own systems. I have access to every agent nationwide, Gary. Every group that they're in. God puts me in as an infection to use the systems for a reason. Same reason with the LDS Church. Because they were perpetuating and enabling a problem where they were supposed to be a pillar of light. And instead now I get to go deal with them too. But all of those agents and all of that stuff, the class action is not what you should be worried about. Round 2, after your now next window passes, the strategic marketing plans, email campaigns, and everything that I know how to do very well, and strategically pinpoint all the way down to the realtors in your city and work at KW in your hierarchy and spreading out slowly. They get all the evidence, every video I sent you, and everything, so that it's literally you being judged by your own peers. Your own agents that you're supposed to be the leader and protecting, they will be watching. Well, I am hoping this now convinces you that I don't have to do that part, because I don't want to do that, because then you don't have me as an ally and your own secret weapon, which is why I was sent to you. You then are literally choosing for me to be public enemy number 1. And you're choosing the mark of the beast, because this is that choice at the second coming, the tribulation, that kind of thing, because you're a very important person to him. That's you choosing to protect the wrong people and not protect the ones he's asking you to protect. So then marketing plans and everything, and all your own peers, all of your own agents are seeing who you protected, who you gave a raise to, who you allowed to stay in power and all of that stuff, and you're wanting them to respect those leaders. Do you think they would approve of your decisions and your actions that you made and your choices? We're not perfect, Gary. I am far from perfect. But when I know better, I do better. When you know better now, are you going to do better? Because do you really think your whole company and all the agents and everything else, when they see all of the pieces to the puzzle and where my heart was coming from and how I was treated, and all the way down to Chad and our conversation and everything else, with all the evidence and everything, do you think they're going to respect any of those leaders that are attached to that anymore? Do you think they're going to respect any of the leaders you choose going forward if they are aware? of how you treated this situation? Do you think that they might have a lot more stories to come out that will be collected of other people being silenced, other people being treated wrongly, and everything within KW? That is the collection for the class action. I'm the infection in between, where mama is doing like the holding you accountable. Because Gary, who holds you accountable? Everybody deserves an accountability partner. You teach that, right? Who's holding you accountable, Gary? Because I am not one of those that's going to sugarcoat it and kiss your ass. That's not me. I will love hard, but I will also tell you the truth no matter what. Always. Always. But I also am a fierce, kind of intimidating, but also can be totally underestimated because I can be soft and squishy and all love. Tool that he was willing to give you as a secret weapon to help clean your house so that you can cut out that infection, so that I can help you double your business within the next 5 years and be a pillar of light. Because right now, I know you're exhausted. I know you don't even know where to start. I know that your own attorney can't protect you because of the culture that has been allowed, and he's being stonewalled. If you think you had issues with the whole, what was his name? The other one that Chad dealt with that was public and you released the agent. If you think you had issues with that one, I have been quiet for a reason because I was told to. I am sending you this now for a reason because I was told to. Passing 5 o'clock on Monday, you're choosing to support the side not attached to God, which in the next 7 years, because the tribulation has started, it gets ugly. Those compounds I'm building, they're also going to be safe zones as stuff happens. I'm also been collecting all those people that I said that I have for like using their genius and all of that. Those are all other people that I was a life vest for, that are all VIPs, that are some of them freaking like God's army warriors that are literally were taught like sharpshooting sniper kind of stuff because they are meant to help set up protection in all of these areas in case worst case scenario happens. I might be creating healing inventions, businesses, joint ventures, and that kind of thing. But there's a very, very bigger, much bigger plan behind it all. And I've been given permission to share as much or as little as you want to know, which I don't get permission for that very often at all, because my brain is meant to keep a lot of secrets and just move chess moves for him. But I know I am preparing for that. I know I am meant to be protecting the women of Zion for that. I am meant to be putting the compounds all over for people that are his tribe and are his followers to be protected as shit hits the fan. So, I am here to help you, Gary. I am here to use a gift that you do not have and don't have a walkie-talkie pretty much attached up there to be able to help screen out, cut out your infection and help you heal and not die and have your health go to shit. Because I know I don't get sent in unless it is affecting all areas. And it's just getting worse. Because I can only imagine, because I was sent in 2 years ago. So I can only imagine from then to now, how many fires you've put out, how many hours you've overworked, how much stress has been on your plate, and how many people you have lost trust in. The difference is you can choose to see me as a lifeboat, or you can see me as another attack. That's your choice. But you need to take a good look in the mirror to see where your intentions are, Gary. Are you wanting to sweep stuff under the rug, or are you wanting to fix a problem? Are you wanting to not admit that you made bad choices in the past and hide that, to have a jury of your peers be your judge, jury, and executioner in public? Or would you rather have your ego and surrender and all of that stuff in private to me, and have me as your ally, and have me as your secret weapon, and pretty much like the attorney, the lawyer, because I am Chad, you're great and all, but I am the attorney that no one sees coming, because I have more tools in my toolbox than anywhere in Harvard could ever give you. And God's giving that to you. Now it costs you $44 million. It came in as zero. But you can see that now. And it just gets more as you choose to fight the wrong fight. Because how much do you think it will be and cost you when your peers start being your judge, jury, and executioner? When you aren't seen as that light for people that need it, and they don't trust you and your leadership anymore. When they start hearing other people's stories of getting hurt or being silenced and all of those things that happened in the past, it doesn't matter what you do going forward at that point. And once it hits class action, with all the stories, it's way more than $44 million, Gary. $44 million right now is just fixing the problem that was enabled and ignored, and for how I was treated, not to mention. So I am just here for that reason. I can be the mom that is here to help hold you accountable and help you heal and fix it, or I can be the mama bear because of who you're hurting. And I'm like a freight train. I go through things. I go through it. So either I can go through it with you to heal it, or I go through it like a destructor. But it's not by me talking crap or doing anything. I use your own actions and systems against you. That is how God has me do it. I don't have to do anything other than showing my truth and authenticity that I sent to you and lay out the evidence and how it was treated. That's where we're at. Because I guarantee you, there were past things that you were aware of, or people were aware of, with Marcus and with Matt, and it was ignored. I was brought in because it was ignored continuously. So I'm meant to help you create a system and a standardized process, because like Chad's hitting brick walls right now and getting stonewalled and can't protect you. He's your attorney, Gary. There should be a standardized process that each person who is in the investigation and holding it, that Chad can go and hold them accountable too and see that it was done the standardized way with no emotions involved, black and white, because one person over here doesn't get a pass if this one doesn't. So, how many times does someone need to screw up with your name involved and get passes before you're willing to say that you're not a part of their journey? Just like I can't be a part of your journey unless you allow me to be. I am supposed to be, apparently, a business partner with you in building the compound, the solutions, all of that is preparing the space for God and the second coming and tribulation, which before all of this and me throwing my temper tantrums and being stubborn and almost dying and all of that, I didn't even talk to God. I didn't believe in God. I didn't believe in any of it. I hated God. I was mad at God for all the shit that had happened to me. But I can't deny what I have been through, how he took me to my knees, had me almost die, to have me be saved by an Egyptian that told me everything that would happen to me before it happened. And I chose not to believe him until it was happening. Sound familiar, Gary? I am that person right now to you, telling you, I see both ways for you. One is a destruction of your reputation by your own peers, being your judge, jury, and executioner, that by the time it even makes it to be the class action, KW is not the same place it used to be, and it doesn't survive. And that is not what I want. Because I do believe, like I told you in the very first video, KW helped save my life. It is a beacon of light. But right now, it is full of narcissists that are sucking the women dry and abusing their privilege and their power. You weren't meant to be one of them, Gary. But their manipulation by their words and everything else, and friendship and everything else that you're attached to, that you want to believe in them because your heart's good, that is what's screwing you up right now, and also screwing up every other light being of the 144,000 that I am meant to collect and protect. We're like their food source. And until I can teach you, if you want to know, I can teach you, like I'm going to teach everyone else that comes into Whole Hearts, how to protect themselves, notice the difference, see the difference. And if all else fails, Mama Bear, who is very scary when needs to be, will come in and use their own shit against them to take them down. So, he even had me, which, like I said, this is rare. He had me print off Bible stuff, which is not. So, apparently I'm going to read this for you. The privilege we enjoy. It is this, that we as Christians and servants of the Lord are keepers of the Lord's vineyards. We have been saved by his wonderful grace, and he has set us in a sphere of service where we are to labor for him. We are in that place by divine appointment only. Notice the force of the words, they made me. The speaker had made me compelled to keep the vineyards. The same is true of us. We did not choose to serve the Lord. He chose us. All we did was obey his call and allow his love to constrain us to be with his servants. What are the vineyards in which we are serving? In a word, our vineyard is just where the Lord has placed us. If you're a mother, your vineyard is in the home. If you are a business, your vineyard is in the office. If you're a soldier, your vineyard is in the army. And if you are a preacher, your vineyard is amongst the people to whom the Lord has commissioned you to minister. The manager of the large company once asked his minister to present the claims of Christ, to his members, to his staff. Why did he do this? He did it because he recognized that his vineyard was his business, where God had placed him. What a privilege it is to be the keeper of one of Lord's vineyards. But immense dangers face us. My mother's son were angry with me and made me take care of my vineyards. And then follows a confession. My own vineyard I have neglected. Considered this quietly and search your own heart about it. You admitting that your vineyard has been neglected. That's the whole seeking for forgiveness. The remedy. Pruning. There must be pruning. That is, the looping off of fruitless branches which would hinder the living branches from bearing fruit. Our Lord spoke about this in John 15:2. He cuts off every branch in me that bears no fruit. This surely refers to the things we need to prune away from our lives, the dead branches which will never bear any fruit. We cannot not cut them off or take them away, but he will do it. He takes them away. Perhaps you have a dead branch in your life. Ask the Lord to take it away, to loop it off, to cut it off. Purging. The Lord Jesus has also said in John 15:2, every branch that does not bear fruit, he prunes it so that it will be even more fruitful. The word purge means to cleanse. This does not refer to dead branches, but to the living branches which need to be cut back in order that the fruit may be prolific and luscious. Maybe the reference here is to those things which may be quiet, lawful to us, but are not expedient. The purging or cleansing certainly refers to all that is sinful and displeasing to the Lord. This purging must take place if we are to be useful to the Lord, meet with the Master's use. Provisions. If the vineyard is to be kept in good order, nourishment, fertilization will be needed for the soil. The same is true for our souls. We can only keep spirituality fit as we know what it is to go into the secret place regularly and to dwell deeply in the Word of God for the nourishment of our souls. Protection. If we are to take care of our inner life, we need to be constantly on the lookout for the little foxes, which invade the vineyard, spoil the vines. It is not always the big foxes. It is often the little foxes which rob us of our power and spoil our testimony. And then he had me do this one. Because I know I'm like a gatekeeper. I know that. I have yeah. So that took me a long time to understand. But go through the gates, prepare the way of the people, build up the highway, gather out the stones, lift up a banner for the peoples. Behold, Yeshua has proclaimed to the end of the earth. Say to the daughter of Zion, behold, your salvation comes. Behold, his reward is with him and his recompense before him. They will call them the holy people. Yeshua is redeemed. You will be called, sought out, and a city won't be forsaken. This is very unusual for me to be printing this off and doing this and sharing all these secrets and stuff. So, but pretty much the other ones that he had me print off talk about that anyone who doesn't, their wealth will be funneled into the pillar cornerstone that he is putting in Zion. Whole heart's the business that I funnel the money into for every person that I am sent to go and try and be a life vest unless their ego gets involved. So Gary, I really hope this time you hear me. You hear God, because this on Sunday and all of it, I thought I was just starting and launching all the campaigns and all the evidence of how the situation was treated. But I see how important you are to him now, and apparently important to me, because you always have been important to me. And I know where your heart is. But I'm meant to help you cut out your infections so you can thrive and be the pillar of light you're meant to be. But I can't help you unless you allow me to do that. So, if the money isn't wired by Monday at 5, the next steps go into place. But know that that is your peers being your judge, jury, and executioner. And that is a campaign in every system, from YouTube to Facebook to Instagram, because remember, strategic genius over here using your systems against you. So let me use your systems to help you. Let me use my brain that you helped save when I was fighting my whole surrender and losing everything and almost dying and all of that. KW helped save me, and I told you that in my first video. Let me do that for you. And we can help save a lot of other things, because I don't want to be your public enemy number one. That's not my choice. That would be your choice going forward. But you have to admit you have a problem. You have to admit that Chad's hands are tied to protect you by the culture you created and allowed, but you didn't know better then. Now you do. So let me help you. Happy Sunday. Hopefully I hear from you soon. Bye.